in the construction sector and maintain efficient functioning of the private dispute resolution market. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call Raymond Ho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to take a call to support the Construction Contracts Amendment Bill 2013 to be referred to Select Committee. The building and construction industry from year 2000 to 2008 contributed around 5% to New Zealand GDP, comprised over 50,000 businesses, and employed around 7% of New Zealand workers, according to Statistics New Zealand. All these indicators will trend upwards with the Christchurch rebuild. Labour supports this bill to be referred to Select Committee because it is important to listen to any concerns submitters may have about the bill at Select Committee. Mr. Speaker, this bill provides an opportunity for Labour to highlight that we are already taking steps to ensure that subcontractors are protected and paid for the work they've done in the event of a construction company collapse. From the departmental report on the Building Amendment Bill number 4, we have learned that the building sector's failure rate is higher than the rate for all businesses before 2003 and after 2008. As we've seen in the Menzel, it's the subcontractors that are hit the hardest when a construction company fails. Subcontractors are nearly always last in the credit queue and often miss out on money they are owed. That's not fair. We need to take action so it doesn't happen again. Labour leader David Sherrill and Commerce spokesperson Clayton Cosgrove have been looking at sensible, cost-effective options that offer a fair deal without loading costs onto the sector. Clayton Cosgrove has been undertaking a series of visits throughout the regions to discuss these proposals with those at the coalface and industry associations. We've developed two options: contractors' liens and statutory construction trusts, and are taking these options to industry for assessment and comment. The first option is contractors' liens, where contractors would be required to retain a portion of money they owe. The second option is the statutory construction trusts, where money would flow through a trust to ensure subcontractors get paid first should a construction company collapse. Our solution will apply to significant commercial construction projects and won't interfere with contractors' arrangements. We will also clarify and tighten the law to ensure that in the event of a construction company failure, subcontractors can get access to their tools as fast as possible so they can get back to work and earn a living. Labour MPs have written to Trade Industry Works to seek their feedback on the options and have asked for ideas on any other options that could benefit and protect the industry. Back to this bill, the Construction Contracts Act 2002, the primary act, creates default progress payment provisions for construction contracts and provides an adjudication framework for disputes involving construction contracts and provides remedies for recovering payments under construction contracts. In 2009, the government undertook a review of the Building Act 2004. The building review was initiated by the Labour government, has won cross-party support. Submissions on the review indicated the broad support for the adjudication process under the Construction Contracts Act 2002 for resolving a range of building disputes. However, submitters identified areas in which the Act could be improved to help parties to resolve disputes, particularly in relation to residential construction contracts and disputes over the quality of work or rights and obligations under contracts. The building and construction sector is vital for New Zealand's economic performance and prosperity. The government is making changes to legislation across the sector to provide incentives for building professionals and tradespeople to take responsibility for the quality of their work, changes that are expected to deliver a productive, efficient and accountable building sector. Improving the adjudication process under the Act is important in the context of these changes. The amendments in this bill aim to make the existing adjudication process a faster, more cost-effective and efficient option for people with disputes under construction contracts. The amendment will, as outlined by the Minister, remove most of the distinctions between how the Act applies to residential and commercial construction contracts, except in relation to the use of charging orders as a remedy for non-payment. They also widen the definition of construction work to include design, engineering and quantity surveying work, and remove the distinction between enforcement of payment determinations and rights and obligations determinations. And also, the amendments will speed up enforcement processes by reducing the amount of time a defendant has to oppose an application to have a determination entered as a judgment. Mr. Speaker, as I said, we are talking to the industry about options, and we are keen to hear their ideas as to how we can ensure contractors' income is protected without adding to government red tape or an additional administrative burden to hardworking businesses. Under a trust fund model, the process is relatively simple. Instead of payments going to the head contractor, they go to the trust, which then makes payments. No other contractual terms are affected. Head contractors should be passing through progress payments to fund subcontractors. Any profit over and above what is owed to subcontractors is paid out to the head contractor. A construction trust or a liens model will ensure that any risky behavior does not occur. Under a trust fund model, the flow of the payments being passed through occur at the same speed as they currently do. It just goes through different players to ensure that a portion of the funding owed to the subcontractors is protected. As to who would run the trust and who would be the trustees and what would it cost to set up and run a trust, there are a range of options that could be investigated. For example, the public trust is a well-respected and a safe institution. The trustees could be independently selected from a range of professional trustees. The trust would be self-funding from the interest received. For example, if the trust invests its funds into safer bonds, a percentage of the interest earned would be used for the day-to-day running of the trust. We will also investigate options to ensure that when the head contractor goes into receivership, subcontractors are able to go on site to retrieve any tools and materials they own from the site. And if the law is ambiguous, we will clarify the process through legislative change. Mr. Speaker, the construction industry has a high level of vulnerable subcontractors compared to other industries. And the problem of a payment to subcontractors in the case of a head contractor going into receivership has been most apparent in the construction industry. I commend the bill to this House. Thank you.
I call Jonathan Young.
Mr. Speaker,